I started my education agency when I moved to Canada as a student, and people started reaching out to me and asking me how to get enrolled into university. And that was my personal journey, right? And I was like, okay, well, maybe I should start, monetizing on it. So I created my education agency, but I would say within me at that time, it was still an intention to make money. But it was actually coming from my genuine knowledge and my personal experience and sharing the tools that worked for me. But the desire to make money was still there. And I should admit that my education agency was not as successful as probably I ever wanted it to be at that time. Now, I don't even care. What I care is the most is that I started something that was a part of my journey of who I was. It trained that part in me. So maybe I just did it not even for money. I did it because it was a part of my journey. I was inspired by my personal experience. People reached out. They sent me a signal that there is a need for that. And I was like, okay, I can make money on that. So my intention was, I would say, not completely coming from giving, because I wanted to make money of it. And that's the reason why it wasn't successful. Because I wanted to make money out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And when my awakening happened, I realized that it's beautiful that I started something that was a part of me, to share my personal journey. It's all good, but I no longer resonated with formal education, because formal education is shaping us into something. It's shaping us into being a good teacher or being a good entrepreneur or being a good doctor. And we interact with all those professors and teachers who are also not volunteering there. They're also working. So it's very rarely you actually meet somebody who would do it for free. Like, for example, this stuff I can do for free. And I've never charged you for any help as well. And I am just so proud of myself that I got to that point where I can live my purpose for free. Like, I don't need to tell people you need to pay me for that. Like, I am so sure that the value I'm bringing, people will want to pay. If they don't want to pay, it means that I'm not making an impact. So I'm not embodying the qualities that can make an impact. So it all comes down to me. If I'm embodying the quality of lack, so that means that I want to extract from this client that I'm coaching. So the efficiency and the impact I would be making wouldn't be profound. So if I am really there to make an impact, I will attract a client who will actually want to give back, because it's making an impact. I won't be attracting clients whom I will have to convince to pay me. I will be attracting clients who are ready to hear what I have to say, and based on that, they will want to give back. It will be their genuine desire. They will be in abundance. I am in abundance. I'll be sharing that frequency with them. So they will be almost like it's going to be my virus of love and abundance, that what I will be sharing with people. So when awakening happened, I was like, how can I now shift from offering formal education to people to help them educate themselves on themselves, learning them who they are? That's where we should all begin. And it took me a year, actually. Or no, the awakening was in 2020, end of the year 2020. And then last year, when I was in Cabo, and we went there for a few weeks with my sister, and I left my sister and her kids and went to do my meditation at the beach. And I found a spot with like very high waves, like very powerful waves, and this sound. There are no people there because nobody swims there. It's very high tide. And it's like these powerful big rocks. And I sit there. I don't remember how long I was in that state, but I was getting these profound downloads of how I can merge my past and my future. How I can make them, like that transition, smooth and connect them into this present moment where I am. And I started getting downloads that the best education you could ever receive would be to educate yourself on yourself. So I don't need to change my past. I don't need to close my old agency, my old business, and create a new brand and a new name. Like, it has to be a smooth evolution into something which is more expanded. So education itself is staying. And it's interesting because the name that I chose for my education agency, when I was still in that lack mindset, like I chose a name called Best Education Choice.
Mm-hmm.
And only now I actually realized why at that time I picked that name.
What the choice is.
Yes. And this link, the connection, happened in this profound meditation I had in Cabo. And I was like, wow, I don't need to change the name. I don't need to re-register. I don't need to close and reject my past. I will use it as a foundation for my beautiful future. I don't even need to change the name Best Education Choice. It stays. And I was like, well, now I want to create a platform where your inner world meets your outer world, like to connect two worlds into one, to glue them together and let them both blossom. And that's how I came up with the idea to create inner world exploration programs and outer world exploration programs. But I won't be advertising my company right now. It's just I'm sharing how it all becomes an evolution of your consciousness. At the end of the day, it's an evolution of who you are. And then your external world will follow that path.
Right.
If you evolve within yourself, you keep learning who you are, you learn all your states of being, you expand, you convert your frequencies, you start falling in love with life, then you will want to share that with people, you want to share your joy for life, and your past will follow you and reshape itself into something more beautiful.
Agree. Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
But when we will be ready with our website and everything, we will also leave it for you to explore how to connect.
If you are ready for it, because I will be working with people who really are tired of existing state of being. They realize that the only thing to change would be to change within. Like those, that will be my audience. I won't be there to convince someone to do anything. Like, I will be working with the audience who is ready to change their perception of life and change their perception of themselves, who will realize that the reason for their pain, first and foremost, they are conscious that they are not enjoying their state of being. They are conscious of the existing pain. And then the next step, they take responsibility for that pain on themselves. They are not blaming people in their lives. They're not blaming the businesses. They are becoming aware it's them. So that will be my audience.
Mm-hmm. I think only that audience, that is the audience of our podcast.
100%. That's why we're doing it, right?
Yes.
We are attracting, we are building a community, which is something beautiful. It's a beginning of a new consciousness. And a new consciousness that is based on love, abundance, joy, and finding everything you're looking for within. So that's the community we are building with this podcast. And that's what creates passion for it, for me. You know, I want to build a community around me who is feeling that power, that they are creating their reality.
Yeah, we just discussed how my perception shifted in just 2 months, in the last 2 months, most of all. Well, I started self-exploration journey maybe a year ago, but the most progress I'm feeling in these last few months, and that's I'm grateful to you for that. And it's such an interesting journey, and when I really can catch myself on a thought and then understand where it came from, and then understand if it gives me if it's comes from fear or love, and if it's good for me to have this thought. And this really changes the thought process. I'm still working on it, but it really is interesting and inspiring for me. Thank you.
Beautiful. This is music to my soul. I call it spiritual orgasm.
I'm glad you feel good.
This is the feeling that my soul is here to experience, where I see the progress, where people reconnect with their inner self. That's what every soul is striving for. That's what every human being is looking for. But everybody is just so stuck in physical and material, and they get preoccupied. And that's okay. Life will always take them back there. Maybe not in this lifetime.